There's tension brewing behind the scenes at Aston Martin. In what was supposed to be a strong partnership between Lawrence Stroll and Adrian Newey, things might already be getting complicated. Reports suggest that disagreements have started surfacing between the two. Stroll, known for pushing hard and expecting fast results, is already paying Newey a staggering $33 million annually. But Newey seems to have made a bold call. He isn't focused on the 2025 car at all. Instead, his full attention is on the 2026 regulations. That's raised more than a few eyebrows within the team. With so much money on the line, the big question is whether Stroll will demand immediate changes or regret bringing Newey in as a technical partner in the first place. Lawrence Stroll has never been one to shy away from tough decisions. He's built his name on getting what he wants, no matter the cost. But with Newey's current stance, this partnership might already be heading into uncertain territory. Newey's current approach is laser-focused on 2026, and that could come at a cost. By ignoring the development of the 2025 car, Aston Martin risks losing a significant chunk of prize money, especially if their on-track performance doesn't improve. Right now, all the team's points, just 10 in total, have come from Lance Stroll. That leaves Fernando Alonso in a tricky situation. Even he admitted that fans shouldn't expect much progress this season. According to Alonso, the team has shifted nearly all of its attention to building a stronger future car, which may not sit well with the team's owner. There's a trade-off here. If Aston Martin finishes lower than 5th in the constructors' standings, they'll get more time in the wind tunnel, which helps in building a better car under the new rules. But at the same time, losing out on end-of-season prize money isn't a small setback, especially for a team with ambitions as big as Aston Martin's. Fernando elaborated on the situation after the race in Jeddah. He said, "We need a lot more pace. We finished P11, mainly because Tsunoda and Gasly collided on the first lap, and Liam Lawson had a 10-second penalty. Without that, we would have likely ended up in P14. It was a harsh but honest assessment. According to him, P11 is probably the worst position to finish because it brings no points yet shows you're not far off the pace. It reflects how tough it will be to score regularly this season. What's worrying for Aston Martin is they seem to be the only team that's taken a noticeable step backward in Jeddah compared to last year. That prompted calls from the media for the team to bring back the 2024 car, or at least go back to the drawing board. Reports suggest an urgent internal meeting was held at Silverstone, but Newey was missing from that as well, raising even more eyebrows. Andy Cowell, a respected figure in the paddock, opened up about the situation and hinted at some internal frustrations. He mentioned that Adrian Newey isn't attending meetings, doesn't reply to emails, and seems entirely focused on designing a fast car for 2026. The team, surprisingly, is backing this approach for now. They believe in the long-term vision he's working towards. His commitment is evident, even outside the factory. There were even posts from Newey's wife on social media, joking that she barely sees him anymore because of how consumed he is with this upcoming car. But while this dedication is impressive, it's also becoming a growing concern internally. Former Red Bull driver Robert Dornbos pointed out that things may not be as smooth between Newey and Lawrence Stroll as they appear. He suggested that Lawrence isn't pleased with how things are unfolding, especially with Newey not prioritizing the current car. Robert Dornbos went on to say that Lawrence Stroll is not exactly in the best mood these days. With all the power and presence he carries in the paddock, Lawrence is known for demanding excellence. And right now, he's not getting the results he wants. The root of the tension? Newey's insistence on focusing only on the 2026 project. Lawrence is reportedly frustrated that despite paying Newey an enormous $33 million a year, the veteran engineer isn't showing any interest in the 2025 car. This situation is also being closely watched by the team's investors. The Saudi Arabian fund, which holds a 20% stake in Aston Martin, is quietly growing anxious. If the team's performance continues to drop, There's talk that Lawrence could face pressure to sell. It's a serious matter, especially when the same fund is behind the massive offer made to lure Verstappen with $300 million for 3 years. All eyes are now on how far Newey is willing to go with his current strategy. Just because Newey holds the title of technical partner doesn't mean he can operate entirely on his own terms. Formula One is a team sport, and no single individual can carry the entire load. Newey's approach of isolating himself, avoiding meetings, not replying to emails, might be effective for designing a great car, but it's starting to wear on those around him. For the 2026 regulations, understanding how the car behaves under new conditions will require collective input. Engineers, data analysts, and team managers all play a part in this process. Dornbos highlighted the friction by revealing that Newey is openly saying he's only interested in the 2026 car. Meanwhile, Lawrence is left wondering why he's paying top dollar for someone who's essentially skipping over a full season. This disconnect is causing growing concern, not just internally, but also among business partners who expect the team to compete consistently every year, not selectively when it suits the technical head. This tension doesn't just impact the immediate performance of the car, it's a strategic gamble. Aston Martin could benefit from the extra wind tunnel time if they fall behind in the standings, but it comes at a cost. They risk losing out on valuable prize money, which could have been used to develop the car further. But for Newey, the prospect of gaining an advantage for the 2026 car is likely too appealing to pass up. It's a tough sell to the team's investors, though. How do you explain that you're intentionally putting yourself in a worse position for the sake of a future project? Robert Dornbos believes that Newey might not mind if Aston Martin finishes near the bottom of the grid because it'll ultimately give him the time he needs in the wind tunnel. But that's not a narrative that Lawrence Stroll, or his partners, will appreciate hearing. The strategy, if that's what it is, might be smart in the long run, but it's hard to convince people to accept immediate losses for future gains. The pressure is mounting on everyone involved. Lance Stroll, despite a few decent finishes, hasn't been able to make an impact like many hoped for. His comments on the AMR25's performance have been telling. He doesn't see any major strengths in the car, particularly in terms of high-speed corners or low-speed traction. This struggle was painfully evident in Jeddah, where the team fell behind by half a second in qualifying compared to last year's AMR23. The gap to last year's performance is becoming increasingly hard to ignore. Alex Brundle has also voiced concerns that the team might have already checked out for the season, especially with the significant changes taking place behind the scenes. The dismissal of technical director Dan Fallows and the ongoing shift in strategy have left many wondering if Aston Martin truly has a clear direction for 2025. If they do, it's hard to see it playing out successfully with the current division of focus. Meanwhile, Honda's involvement in the team is about to ramp up, adding yet another layer of uncertainty regarding the driver lineup and overall strategy. As for Newey, his singular focus on 2026 could either be a brilliant move, or it could be the catalyst for his downfall if Aston Martin's performance continues to falter in the short term.